Welcome back to our next episode of Uncivil Discourse, hosted by Lee.
Hello.
Myself, and our extra special guest commentator returning, Geoff.
That's right, I'm back, bitches.
Oh, shit. Leading into our skill spends for this week, and this is getting near the end. We've only got 3 weeks of spends left. Kondo's Janissaries, the Helios picks up Gunnery.
Following that gunnery, the Kalskashik Scorpion takes Berserker's Rage.
The Ghosts of Gunsburg, their Grasshopper takes Gunnery.
The Remnants, the Avatar picks up Wide Open, and the Wraith picks up Erratic Piloting.
Hey, guess what, folks? My own Lance, Thrishton's Rogues, the Kintaro picks up Mobile Fire.
Fox Knights, we're starting to see a trend here. His Grasshopper picks up Gunnery.
Neon Beaton's Warhawk picks up Combat Wisdom. It's almost like he's afraid of losing his head.
The Half-Cut Dragonfly picks up Anticipation.
The Vengeful Ones, their Elementals, well, they add a little bit extra to their jump jets. They now have Long Jumper.
Kinkazi, the Marauder, picks up Gunnery.
Ashland's Regulars, Dragon picks up Gunnery. I'm sensing a lot of Gunnery so far this week.
This is probably the most I've ever seen purchased in a single week. Tin Man's Tin Cans, they banked their points.
Nash CIT Marauder picks up Technician to swap out the rack for a large pulse laser and some other mods.
The Radiant Raven Raiders, they are banked this season. This season.
Yeah, they banked a whole bunch of times.
Whole season. They just banked the whole season, folks.
First Merrick's Militia, the Awesome, takes Lethargic.
My First Dracon's Viking also picks up Lethargic.
And Fenrir's Frostfangs banks.
Devil's Brigade, the Penetrator, picks up Mobile Fire, and the Night Sky picks up Anticipation.
Another trend this week, up there with Gunnery, the Pit Vipers doesn't take Gunnery, but banked.
The Wolf Packs, their Marauder 5D, took Speed Demon.
Thumper's Revenge, the Stealth 2D, had a starting BV of 1508. It clan salvages the Streak 6 to get a little bit extra range and a couple extra ton and a half. It adds Case 2 and half a ton of armor, taking it up to 152 out of 153. New BV is 1646.
Cat's Nightingale Cavalry, the Rakshasa, takes Mountaineer.
Ansgar's Outlaws, their Marauder 5D, takes Technician. The starting BV was 1787. They drop the Streak Launcher and Case, adds Tag, adds another heat sink to get up to 17. 2 ERPPCs and a jump equals 34 heat. Therefore, it's nice and balanced. Upgraded armor is to 100% and adds a small laser for fun. New BV is 1806.
Hogan's Heroes, the Cerberus, picks up Gunnery.
Wendigo's Night Stalkers Wolverine takes Bribery.
Abishai's Avengers, they bank their points this week.
Paxton's Pathfinders, Orion M2 uses clan salvage on the other M15. Starting BV was 1828. It upgrades the case, protecting the left torso. It adds Case 2 to the right torso where the Gauss rifle is. Adds ECM and a half ton of armor, maxing it out. New BV is 1977, or an increase of 149 points.
The Dead Man's Hand Black Hawk Coup takes Target Lock.
The Blitzkrieg Jezebels, they spent some points on Camouflage for the Barghest.
The Red Sun's Irregular Dire Wolf, using the Veteran skill to pick up Camouflage and Technician, swapping the Ultra 20 and 2 tons of ammo for a Gauss rifle and 2 tons of ammo. New BV is 168 points, increasing from 3041 to 3209.
The League of Robots, their Dire Wolf, picks up Gunnery.
And last but not least, the Teddy Bear Parade takes Gunnery on the Warhammer.
That is a lot of gunneries.
Yeah.
Like actual gunnery skill. And then you get things like target lock. That's a gunnery skill. All sorts of them. It's actually been, that's a lot. I've never seen that many, I don't think. At least not in a single week.
That was 8 people buying gunnery specific. That is a quarter of our league. 1 out of 4 people bought gunnery this week. All right, well, let's take a look here at our summary for last week's matches and see how things played out for everybody. Game number 1, we had the Alshane Regulars versus the League of Robots. The Forward Comm Center has the DCMS fight a clan invasion to a draw, 1-1 tie. Good game. Good job, Carlo. Way to go.
Yeah, the Thunderhawk gets offed by the Direwolf, which pretty understandable. But the Dragon was able to take out the robot's glass spiders to get that tie-in.
Game number 2 with the Teddy Bear Parade versus Thumper's Revenge. Well, there's something happening at the zoo today in those unending hills. Our favorite bunnies pull a league first, putting Grumpy Bear down. For those that, don't know, like myself, apparently Grumpy Bear is the Teddy Bear Parade's Kodiak. Though they put them down, it's still a Teddy Bear win for a 4-1.
Long live Cocaine Bear. Long live Cocaine Bear.
Wrong franchise league. So the Grasshopper claims the pelt of Grumpy Bear. In return, the Kodiak takes out the Longboat, the Warhammer clips the Grasshopper and the Stealth, while the Stormcrow picks off the Raksasha, spreading the love a little bit and having everybody pick up at least 1 kill except for the Elementals.
Game number 3, we have the Wendigos Night Stalkers versus Cat's Cavalry. Landing on the newly christened Lunar Bullshit Arena, these 2 teams throw down in our second tie this week, 2-2.
Out here on these arid plains of the moon, the Wendigo's Wolverine takes out the Lynx, the Marauder drops the Cavalry Guillotine, sorry about your ride, Cat. Well, in return, the Longbow clips the Wolverine, and the Rakasha, See, this is what happens when you haven't podcasted in a while. You just screw everything up.
Yep.
The Raksasha drops the Marauder in Vengeance.
Game number 4, Foch Knights versus the Pit Vipers. Rolling down the road in the hills, the Pit Vipers don't even slow down as they roll right over Foch Knights to a 4-1 victory.
The Foch Exterminator has a very bad day when it blows out its masks and hits both hips. Remember, our league uses random crit hits for mask rolls because it seemed really weird that you could hit a jump jet with a failed mask. The Knight's Grasshopper does manage to take out the Viper Marauder. On the flip side, that Fafnir takes out the Exterminator and the King Crab, while the Thunderbolt drops the Peahawk and the Grasshopper.
Game number 5 sees Angar's Outlaws versus Kondo's Janissaries. Clearly the Capellans like a little water as they splish splash in the river basin this week to a 4-2 victory.
The Outlaws do not go down empty-handed, with the Griffin taking out the Kondo's Hunchback, and with some good 75-ton Slapfest, the Sad Cat takes out the Penetrator. All 4 Outlaws bite the bullet though. The Helios takes out 3 of them, while the Hunchback drops said Raksasha.
Game number 6, the Red Sons Irregulars versus Kel's Keshik. Speaking of some water, the Desert Oasis sees some dead clanners, matter of fact all 8 of them, in a 4-1 final score.
All the clanners may go down, but the Direwolf doesn't go down without taking out the Warhammer on its own. In return, though, the T-Sang claims the Archer and the Elementals, and the Fafnir puts down the Direwolf. In a battle of the bugs, the Scorpion eats the Dragonfly.
Game number 7, Riston's Rogues versus Abishai's Avengers. Tippy-toeing through the tundra, the Comstar Mech Warriors put down all 4 pirates in a 4-2 victory.
The Abishais put up a fight as their King Crab takes out both the Perseus and the Shootist. Also claiming 2 kills, the Rogue's Battlemaster takes out the Black Knight and the Abishai's King Crab. The Shootist drops the Cronus, while the Gintero is the one to make the Flashman leave the field of battle.
In pieces.
Yeah, no kills for the Flashman this week.
In game number 8, the Kenkazi take on Neon's Betons in the Caustic Valley, where 7 mechs enter and 5 elementals. 3 mechs leave. Clan beaten victory 4-1.
So the Marauder shotgun some elementals to finish them off. after the Atlas put one through a field goal. In return, the Warhawk takes out the Maelstrom and the Atlas. The Nova finishes off the Marauder, while the T-Bolt slaps down a Wraith.
Game number 9. Halfway through, we got Tin Man's Tin Cans up against the Paxton Pathfinders. This exciting match romps around into the Bloody Basin, and just a few tin cans get crushed, but one more than the Pathfinders. Pathfinders get another victory today, 3-2.
Clearly, the MVP today, the Pathfinder's Marauder 2, claims all 3 kills, the Phoenix Hawk, the Thunderbolt, and the Battlemaster. The Tin Cans do fight back, while the Battlemaster takes out the Black Knight, and the Thunderbolt makes the Orion go kaboom.
Game number 10, the Wolfpack versus Fëanor's Frostfangs. All the wolves go romping around in the grasslands. Today, the Wolfpack takes down 2 of the Fangs and only loses 1 of their own for a 2-1 victory.
Now, the Banshee takes the head off the Wolfpack's Thunderbolt the first time they target it. Meanwhile, the T-Bolt took down the No-Dashi, and the Marauder 2 steps on a Starslayer.
Game number 11, the 1st Merrick Militia versus the Devil's Brigade. The Savannah Arena hosts this matchup. Unfortunately, this match fails to happen due to scheduling conflicts, and the Merrick team goes home with a 2-0 bye win.
Game number 12 sees Hogan's Heroes versus the Half Cut. Man, oh man, the Deathly Desert is living up to its namesake this week, with the Clanners just laying it to the Heroes in a 4-0, 6-round slapdown. So almost 1 round off the league record for the previous 2 seasons.
This starts off with the Dragonfly zipping behind the Cerebus and sending some Streak LRM straight into the cockpit. That's not a good exchange. Almost immediately after that, the Warhammer took the head off the Bandersnatch with some Streak SRMs. And then finishing off on a unconscious Rakshasa while the Shadow Cat chases down the Uziel. Come on, Paul, the goal is to have our newest players come back next season. You've got to be nice to them. Come on.
Game number 13, the Blitzkrieg Jezebels versus the Radiant Raiders. The Raiders stable manager is off planet. Something about a Kiwi? Not quite sure where that happened to be squeezed. However, the Jezebels bring home a 2-0 bye victory this week.
Jumping into game 14, the Vengeful Ones versus the Ghosts of Gunsburg. Our newest stable manager brings home a victory today as the Ghosts haunt the Vengeful Ones into a 4-1 loss. So spooky, it must almost be All Hallows Eve. Who writes this stuff?
Yeah, don't you love this? I'm glad you feel the same pain I do.
This is worse than dad jokes.
The Clan Battle Cobra managed to take out the Wolverine, and while in return for that, the Wolverine executed the Dire Wolf. The Viking puts down the Lancelot, and the Marauder finishes off the Battle Cobra and the Elementals.
Game number 15, the 1st Dracons versus the Remnants. Boom boom, shake the room. Lake Losi sees 3 mechs all bring home a pair of kills today. The Remnants, Thunderhawk, takes out the Viking and the Axeman. The Dracons Axeman takes out the Warhammer and the Wraith, while the Shadowhawk picks up 2 more kills in the Avatar and the Thunderhawk, bringing home a 4-2 victory, the Avatar being its 2nd kill this season through physical attacks.
And this brings us to the last game of the season. The week.
What is with you about the season? Are you?
I don't know, man. Maybe I just want the season to be over. I actually don't. I really don't. Anyway, last game of the week, game 16, sees the Nacit versus the Dead Man's Hand. These teams go for a quick picnic. Are they chasing picnic baskets now? Are they bears? Hey, boo-boo. At the Prairie Lakes, Dead Man's handing it to the Nacit today in a 4-0 victory.
I had a very pleasurable game with Todd. It was a lot of fun to sit down and play. We haven't played in at least 20 years. Really, at first, things seemed really even. We were kind of throwing fire back and forth, no major damage done. Then his Marauder got within range of my Jaeger mech, who was just standing there, minding his own business, throwing Gauss rifles downfield. Needing 9s to hit, we'll roll and see what happens. I got 1 hit. As I'm getting ready to roll, Todd himself goes, that's going to be really funny if that's a head hit. I roll, and they just come up 6s. Marauder's down, pristine, never took another point of damage. It's out of the game. After that, my 2 jumpers, the Blackhawk KU and the Templar, just kept jumping back and forth, keeping the Nacit troops centered. The Jaeger mech was able to pick up a 2nd head kill by shooting the Blackjack in the back of the head. And the Templar killed both the Rifleman and the Night Star just by repeated hits with medium pulse lasers. So all in all, it was a great game. Todd and I had a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to hopefully playing them again sometime soon.
It always sucks when you call your own head hits, right?
Yeah, I hate doing that. I always feel really bad when it happens too. Like if somebody walks up when I'm rolling in a location and they say, "Oh, look, head hit," and you do it, it's like.
I mean, I called it too when I was talking about my game last week against the Remnants. I was scared the Thunderhawk was going to take some heads, and it did.
Hey, listen, it's okay if you call it against yourself because, being the master of your own disaster type deal. It's when somebody else calls it and then it happens, that's when it's like, oh, really?
Yeah, it's disheartening when your opponent does it.
Yeah, so some interesting matches. The Exterminator on the Folks Knights double mask failures to take out both hips. What?
No, it was one mass failure. It took out both hips in the same rolls. Because you roll on each leg and it just came up once.
I know in my match with Max, he fell and created his own center torso, which on the flashbang, which took a gyro and an engine. Never fun when you do that to yourself. But outside of that, I don't think we had any real upsets or shockers when it came to any of the matches. It was,
What about the game against League of Robots?
Oh, the 1-1 tie?
The 1-1 tie against one of our top Killer Clan games.
Hey, listen, he went into the city, and the city was not kind to him.
Another big one is Paul's, I think, second victory in a row.
Okay, that was a good upset, actually. The 6-round win, that was, almost tying for the league record. That was a pretty good one.
We definitely had some good games this week. It's nice to see where not everything is super predictable and everything's coming out, and it's like, oh, things are starting to roll around and things are starting to come up with different directions.
Yeah, I don't think I did all that well on my predictions for this week. I think my percentages are dropping even lower.
Oh, shocking.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, I beat both of you last season.
Not
What are you talking about?
Folks. We all know this.
No, I didn't. You actually beat us, I think, Geoff, last season.
Yes, Geoff had the best accuracy last year.
We were close, but he pushed us out.
Well, you know what they say. Close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear weapons, so...
This is going to lead us into the Week 7 matches. Well, the game number 1 is Kells Keswick's with 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. They're up against the Fox Knights with 2 wins, 1 bye win, and 3 losses, no ties. Well, as I called the game last week, I was really pushing for Kells Keswick to thump on them. This week, I'm going to say the same thing. Our missing Geoff is going to be able to win this game and probably take it as a 3-1.
Well, Geoff, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say because you've played both these players.
Well, you see, here's the thing, is he may be missing from the podcast today, but he was good enough to send me his predictions. So I have his predictions here.
What a slacker.
Hey, listen, he starts a new job tomorrow, and he's just gotten over being sick. So I think, him getting to bed early tonight is much needed.
I guess it's acceptable.
Yeah. So from his prediction, he's got a 3-2 for himself.
All right. I actually want to hear what your prediction is in this one, though.
So here's the thing. Foch Knights has a pretty good lance. It's rocking kind of the same stuff I am when it comes to number of Einarchs, and it doesn't have the Gauss rifles that I do, but it still has some. I think actually it only has 1 less than me, so what am I saying? But I think, if Scott connects with those Haywire pods, which Geoff hates, by the way, and is decent with his plays and that, I think Foch Knights has a really good chance of winning because Keswick only have 1 ECM. But in the end, I do think that Kells Keswick's experience and tactics is gonna win out for him. A 3-2 is. I can actually get behind a 3-2. I kind of agree with Geoff here on the 3-2.
All right, well, I'm going to break the mold then, because I think Fox Knights, their record doesn't necessarily reflect the play. So I'm going to go with a 4-3 Knights victory.
Game number 2, we have Abishai's Avengers with 4 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties. They're playing up against Cat's Cavalry. 3 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties. Cat's Cavalry has struggled a little bit where it seems like Max and the Abishai's Avengers have been very solid and just have lost some games. I'm actually going to say Abishai's Avengers are going to win again. The reason why I'm saying that is because Cat's Cavalry they're just flopping just a bit. I think it's going to be I'm going to say 3-1.
I don't think Cat's got it in her to take a win here against Abishai's Avengers. Max is one of our top players and knows how to work the field and get things to come up where he wants them to. I think this is going to be a 4-1 Abishai's victory.
All right, so first up here for that, I will give Geoff's prediction. He's got an Abishai win for a 3-1. Cat's Cavalry has, their record's not bad, right? They're 3-1-2 right now. So 3 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties versus the 4 wins and 2 losses, which isn't that far off difference-wise when it comes down to it. I think, though, that the Abishai's experience is going to trump Cat's Cavalry's enthusiasm. I think we're going to see a 4-2.
Game number 3, we have Thumper's Revenge. 3 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties. They're going up against the League of Robots. 4 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. Oh, this is going to be a really good fight. Laura's Lance is really good at close-up fighting, really mess you up with the plasma rifles and the... Not plasma rifles, sorry. Really mess you up with the Inferno missiles or the tandem charge. League of Robots, I played these guys and they walked all over me. They're a very, very tough lance. And I am going to say that if Laura can advance close enough where she can get those MMLs on field, she could win it. But if League of Robots is able to keep distance, he'll be able to maneuver around her and take her out. I am going to say this is going to be a 3-2 victory for League of Robots.
I am interested in seeing how this game plays out. I think it's going to be a well-played match between a couple of people that have known each other for quite some time. That being that Jared and the League of Robots used to be a roommate.
Nope.
And so they've been friends for quite some time. They're going to have a good time. Robots are going to drop all 4 bunnies, but I think Thumper's Revenge is going to drop one of the robots as well.
Brett, I should hope that the League of Robots and Jared were roommates because they're the same person.
Well, he was one of my old roommates.
Yes. I think what you meant to say was, though, that the bunnies and the League of Robots were once roommates also.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if Laura was still living here when Jared was or not.
I don't know.
I think she'd...
briefly, maybe? I don't know.
I'm deleting a bunch of this.
Yes, because it's not relevant.
All right, so first up here, I will give Geoff's prediction again, which is funny because Lily, it's Geoff is Geoff, I guess, right? Is 2 Geoffs enter, 1 Geoff leaves?
Geoff is delivering Geoff?
Yes. The Geoff always wins.
Always wins.
Always wins, yes. All right, so the new Geoff has a League of Robots win 3-2. I, on the other hand, think we're going to see I would like to see the Thumpers win, but that firepower from the League of Robots, I think, is just going to take the day, depending on the map they get. But I think in the end, we'll see a 4-2 League of Robots.
Don't get me wrong. I'd really like to see the Bunnies take this home. I just think that it might not fall out that way.
Game number 4, we have the Neon Betons. 4 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Teddy Bear Parade. 6 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties. The absolute no. It's been
And only one mech lost.
It's been cracked. Its armor's been cracked. The Grumpy Bear is dead. Long live the Cocaine Bear. I think this is going to be the Teddy Bear Parade again, showing dominance. Because Neon Beatons, while they're also clan, I don't think is going to do well with mech standing right on their feet instead of being able to use their long range firepower. And if I didn't give a number before, I'm going to give one now. I'm going to say it is going to be a 4-1.
What can I say about this match? How can I brainball the Beatons into trying to make some mistakes here? I could go on about how Teddy Bear Parade has been playing as long, if not longer, than the Beatons have been alive, because, Darren has. I could talk about how the Teddy Bears are just 6-0 and rolling over everybody they come across. So I don't think the Beatons are going to have a hope in heck of trying to get this. Or we could talk about how Ghost Bears... No, okay, so Ghost Bears are inferior to Jade Falcons, so... With that, I really pains me, but I'm going to say Teddy Bear victory in a 4-2 loss. Sorry, Teddy Bear victory 4-2. Beatons are going to be the first one to take out 2 Teddy Bears.
Come along with all your toys. See the Teddy Bears go marching on parade.
All right, here, let's see. First up, we have Geoff's prediction, which he thinks is going to be... a Neon Beton win, 4-3.
Ooh, that's ballsy.
You know what, boys? The Teddy Bear Parade is going to come to a screeching halt here, and I think it's also going to be a Neon Beaten win. I think, though, we're going to see a... You know what? I'm going to give it to the Neon Beatons with a 4-2.
You're just hoping that they knock the Teddy Bears down because you're trying to catch them.
Dude, I don't care if I catch them. I think you just underestimate the Beatons.
Game number 5, we have OG's Riston's Rogues. 5 wins, 0 losses, and a tie. They're up against Ken Kazi. 2 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. I can't vote against you, Geoff. It's just not going to happen. You were such a darling last year and ended up winning it all in the A side. I think you're in it for this year too. You may not catch first place, but I really think you're just going to be right on their heels for the rest of the season. I'm going to say Riston's Rogues, and it's going to be a 4-2. 4-2.
Undefeated Riston's Rogues are probably taking this home in a 4-1.
I am not undefeated, my good sir. A tie is still a loss. Come on now.
You have not lost any games.
Tie is not a win.
It is not a win, but it is also not a loss. You may not have won all your games, but you haven't lost any.
And a 4-2 can be a close game.
It's true.
Yeah, just ask Lee when he loses 4-2. That's definitely a close game every time.
Every time, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so Geoff has a 4-1 for myself as his prediction. This is C3I on C3. I have no ECM. He has 1 ECM. I do have quite a bit of Beagle, though, so I'm...
You have ECM, you just have to shoot it out and hit something.
Listen, minor details, okay?
That was his hidden secret, Lee. There you go, spreading his secret around.
That's why it's only going out one day before the game.
I'm pretty sure that my opponent knows that Einarch have ECM pods. I hate calling games for myself. It just seems so meh. I do think it's going to be a Richard Rogue win, though. I think a 3-2, actually.
But it's going to be a close game, then.
I think so, yeah.
Moving on, game number 6, we have the Pit Vipers. 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. They're up against our other perfect team, the Condos Janissaries, 6 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties. I think it's going to be a real run between the Teddy Bears Parades, the Condos Janissaries, and the Riston's Rogues right up to the last moment, because I don't think anybody's really going to falter. Your guys, in 3 seasons, these are probably the best Lances I've seen. I'm going to say the Condos Janissaries are going to win. The Pit Vipers are going to make them work for it, though. It's going to be a 4-3.
All right. So I'm going to make the call, even though I know that these teams can't actually make this game happen because Pit Vipers are out of town, out of country, actually, I believe. So if they were to play, I think the Janissaries would have probably taken it in a 4-2 because that Fafnir can just drop a world of pain on things. But JP has a way of making things happen when he needs it to.
So, Geoff is bang on with this one. He's calling it a bye win for the Condos.
Geoff, and I'm talking to you, Mr. Not Here. Even when we do know the results, we're supposed to pretend we don't.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Fake news all over the place. I think this would have been a good matchup between the two of them if they had managed to play, and I think it would have been a lot closer than you guys think. I think Lee is correct with it being a Condos Janissaries 4-3.
I mean, Cal also has the tendency to just randomly pull bullshit out of his ass too sometimes. Like when he beat me 4-1 when I should have rolled that game. Because even Cal's like, you should have rolled this. But that being said, it is what it is. And by win, congratulations, Condos Janissaries.
Yeah, but he only gets 2 points, not 3. Game number 7. We have the Red Suns Irregulars. 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. They're up against Wendigos Night Stalkers. 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. These two teams are actually really tight in the running here. Red Suns Irregulars had a bit of a disappointing loss there. And the Wendigos Night Stalkers are picking up steam. I like the Wendigos Night Stalkers for this one. I know Gary is one of my favorite players, but I think Geoff agrees with me. The Wendigos Night Stalkers are a big powerhouse. I think it's going to be Wendigos Night Stalkers, and it's going to be a 3-2-2.
Okay, so we like Gary because he's always a fan favorite. Jay had a really tough season last year, but that's okay because he's just rolling all of that bad luck into yin and yang for good luck this year. He's just rocking with his lance. It's been really well built. This is actually going to be a 3-3 tie, boys.
I can't tell you what Geoff decided for this one because he actually forgot this one. Yeah, shocking. So I think, on the other hand, though, that Gary is... Gary's been pretty good with his lance this year, and his lance is pretty solid. So I think we're going to see a Red Suns win on this one, and I think we're going to see a Red Suns win with a... Oh, these two together, I think we'll see quite a few rounds going. I think we'll see a Red Suns win with a 3-1.
We've hit the entire spectrum on there. One of us has to be right.
No, we could have hit 4s.
No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, win, tie, loss.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And a big question mark, or whatever the other painter would have done.
Clearly, he's going for the bye win again.
What the other Geoff would have done.
Yeah, he's going for the bye win again, apparently.
Yeah. Game number 8, we have Alshane Regulars. With a record of 2 wins and a bye win, 2 losses and a tie, they're up against Ansgar's Outlaws. 4 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties. 2 really good teams. There's been so many teams, 32 teams, so hard to keep track of. But I'm looking at their records, and they both played really well so far this season. Like, really, Alshane's Regulars, they've got the effectiveness of 3 wins, so they're just right behind Ansgar's Outlaws for total points. I am going to say that the Alshane Regulars are going to take this win to push them closer up to the top. And it's going to be a pretty destructive game. I think it's going to be a 4-2.
Man, there are times that I hate following after Lee because I also think it's going to be an Alshane's Regulars. I think that Lance is just really coming together and is going to see some wins in the second half. Ansgar's Outlaws, while doing well, has been getting some well-placed luck. With that, I think this is going to be a 4-3 Alshane Regulars victory.
Well, this being the second match that Geoff forgot. So I, on the other hand, will be thinking that, that the Regulars Lance is pretty good, but the Outlaws Ranch, the Outlaws stable here has done quite well with his mech choices. I think we're going to see the Outlaws continue their streak of good luck here, and I think we're going to see an Outlaws win with I'm going to say a 2-1.
Okay, so Corey, since you're listening, because you better be listening, you need to give us pony up $15 and rename one of the maps to your choice to Outlaws Ranch.
If he wins this match, depending on which one it is, he could do that.
How about the Desert Oasis? That'd be a good one to be called Outlaws Ranch. Game number 9, we have the Ghosts of Gunsburg. 2 wins, 4 losses, 0 ties. They're up against Hogan's Heroes. 0 wins with 2 bye wins, 4 losses, 0 ties. So since the Ghosts of Gunsburg have joined League to take over for one of the other teams, he's been doing actually quite well. So he's moved on to winning record for himself anyway. And I think Hogan's Heroes have just been out of luck. I just don't think things are working for them. I think it's going to be the Ghosts of Gunsburg, and I think it's going to be 3-1.
So yeah, Ghosts of Gunsburg has played 3 games out of their 6-game history here. They've won 2 of them. Hogan's Heroes, I'm super happy to see Phil join us this year. It's always nice to see new faces. And with that in mind, first season can be really an uphill struggle. So absolutely nothing against him, especially when he's got 2 games that are bye wins, but that could have been real wins. For the sake that, if you can't play the game, you can't see how it rolls out. I think Hogan's Heroes is due a win. I think this is going to be a 3-1 Heroes victory.
All right, sports fans, back into predictions from Geoff. He has a Ghosts of Gunsburg win for a 3-2.
And now, coming from Geoff, the prediction.
Phil has been having some bad luck on his matches, those that he's gotten to play. Like you say, the Ghosts of Gunsburg, their record since they've joined the season has been good after taking over. But I think the Hogan's Heroes, they're due for a change. I think we're going to see a Hogan's Heroes win. I think we're only going to see a 2-1 though.
Game number 10, we have the Remnants with 1 win, 5 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Tin Man's Tin Cans. 1 win and a bye win, 4 losses, 0 ties. Both of these teams are snake bit. They can't seem to pull out a win after having success early and just can't seem to do it. The Remnants, Chris, I have to jump on this one. I think you're going to win this one. I really do. I don't think
you jinxed them again.
I just don't think that Justin's team is doing what he wants to do. He did play well last game. I just don't think his Lance is really doing what he thought it was going to do. I think the Remnants are going to win, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a 3-2.
Now, I'm agreeing with Lee on this one almost 100%. Remnants 3-2. Part of that is because the Tin Man's Tin Cans have 10 points banked. So that really starts to add up at the end of the season, where you've got that many points banked and your opponents have outspent all theirs. That's usually the equivalent of 2 gunnery skills, making a huge difference throughout the game. I'm not sure what the Tin Man's Tin Cans plan of battle is, but I'm waiting to see and be excited.
All right, well, you naysayers here. Geoff has a win for Tins Mans on a 3-1. Other Geoff, the real Geoff, the OG, I suppose, as you like to call me. Man, Chris's Lance is so good on paper and in reality, and his dice have been so bad to him this season. And it's not a fault of tactics. It's not a fault of his mech choices. It's just I've watched some of his games, and his dice have just been absolutely horrendous to him at times. That Thunderhawk of his missing Gauss rifles on like 6s and 5s when he gets the C3 in play good. It just, I kind of think that, unfortunately, that luck is going to continue for this game. And I think we're going to see a tin can win. I think we're going to see a 4-2 Tin Man win here.
Game number 11, we have Half Cut. 2 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. They're up against the Paxton's Pathfinders. 1 win, 5 losses, 0 ties. Both of these teams are coming off of wins. Their lances are finally starting to gel, and they're seeing some progress and something really positive. I think Paul just has a late season run in him. I think Paul's he's so wired and so ready for this. I think Half Cut is going to win, as much as I think Chris with the Paxton Pathfinders has a good team, and I think he's seeing some good stuff. I think Paul's experience is going to win this one out. It's going to be Half Cut. It's going to be a 2-1.
This is a game where I think Paul, being Paul, is going to work out for him. He's got a lot of speed. Paxton's Pathfinders doesn't really have that to keep up with it. I mean, it's got a Wraith, but that Dragonfly and the Shadowcat are pretty quick. Paul is running 4 clan mechs. I think this is actually going to be a half-cut victory. I think it's probably going to be a 3-1, though.
All right, so Geoff predicts a 3-1 half-cut. And Paul's going to win this one. It's going to be a half-cut victory. Like you say, I think Paul is going for that second half season win. I don't think Paxton's Pathfinders are going to be able to deal with the 4 clan mechs, especially the 2 faster ones that he's got, the 2 fast mobile ones. That Wraith just isn't enough. Firepower wise, it just can't keep up with those other 2. So I think we're going to see I think Lee is right, a 2-1 half cut.
I kind of wanted to do 2-1, but it'll depend on how much Paulness Paul puts on the table. If he starts to do like charges and DFAs, it'd be a 2-1. If he plays the game to win, I think it'll be a 3-1.
DFAs are never worth it.
Nope. No, he still should be taking bayonet charge and giving it a go. Game number 12, we have the Dead Man's Hand, 3 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties, up against the Wolf Pack, 2 wins, 4 losses, 0 ties.
All right, this is basically 3rd season. Alex coming out with a vengeance. I do believe the Wolfpack is looking to reverse his fortunes against you and show you how much he's grown over the last couple of years. You definitely had him on the balls of his feet on, season 1. Last year, he had a different plan where he was like, all the other M's, everything, and it worked out really well for him. This year, his plan hasn't seemed to be working so much with his mech choice. I want the kid to win. I think this is going to be a dead man's 4-3 victory.
Oh, I think if I'm down to my last mech, he's got me. Because it usually ends up being my Jaeger mech, which can't win the game for me usually. I don't think it has the survivability for that.
It's because it's a Jaeger mech.
Yeah. I am going to say it's going to be me. It's going to be me. There, now we get sued. Dead Man Hands are going to win. I think it's going to be a 4-2. Maybe even a 4-1. But it's mainly because my mechs are tuned. I think I have the lance exactly the way I want it now.
Well, Lee, Geoff predicts a Dead Man's win with a 4-2. I, on the other hand, am going to predict a Wolfpack win. I think the boy, Alex, it's so hard not to call him the boy since I've known him for so long. I think he is going to surprise you, and I think he's going to get some good rolls in, and we're going to see a Wolfpack win, with it being a 3-2.
If he listened to the podcast, I would have called Wolfpack. I think he's got it in him to beat you. but I also think that you still have some old and bastardly tricks up your sleeve.
We'll see. He's one I'm most nervous about playing against.
You're going to have to pull out all the stops, though, for this one.
Game number 13. We have the first Dracons, 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie, up against the NAIS CIT, 1 win, 5 losses, 0 ties. Well, Brett, I couldn't vote against you on this one, even if I was upset with you, and I'm not. The Dracons, you have really good decided lance. You're playing it. You have not had the best luck. It's like every week you're picking something to break records with, and usually not in a good way. He's had 18 failed PSRs in a single game. How many careful stands?
6 failed careful stands on 6s in a follow-up game.
And just brutal luck, but you've pulled enough wins. Like, you just barely fell into B-side. I am going to say first Dracons, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a 4-2.
I think this is probably going to go my way. I think I've had so much bad luck that my traditional 4-2 victory wins is going to be a little deposited differently this week. I'm going to call myself 4-1 against the Nace this time.
Are you 4-1, huh?
I'm feeling confident.
4-1. Are you? Are you going to fail 15 piloting rules again in one go?
I think the one that I'm going to lose, I'm going to blow up myself.
Fair enough. You know what happened all last season with your Atlas?
Oh, I killed the Atlas 3 times last season. I think I had most number of self-inflicted kills. So this isn't new to me.
You know, I think we're going to see a good match here. Todd is looking forward to playing you as one of the old league members. I still think, yes, we are going to see our first Dracon win. And I think it's going to be pretty drastic. I think it's going to be a 4-1.
What did the other Geoff predict?
Oh, yeah, I have his predictions too, don't I? His prediction is a win for Brett with a 4-1.
Don't worry, Todd. I have a little bit more faith in you than these guys do.
Only by 1 kill, though.
Because Brett's really aggressive.
That is usually my downfall. I almost always guarantee 2 kills to my opponents because I am such an aggressive player.
Game number 14. We have the Fenrir's Frost Fangs with 1 win, 5 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Radiant Raven Raiders or something like that. I think I said it right. With 2 wins, 4 losses, 0 ties. I'm trying to remember. I believe Brandon's going to be back in time for this one, so it's not going to be a 2-0 bye win. Though both him and Fenrir's Frost Fangs have given out quite a few of those this season. I'm going to say that Fenrir's Frost Fangs feel good about their lance. I think I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. They know their lance. At least 2 of their mechs they're really comfortable with. I think they're going to beat the Radiant Raven Raiders, and it's going to be a 3-1.
I think if we can get this game played, it's going to be a Raven 2-1 victory.
Well, Geoff has a Frostfang win for a 2-1.
I was going to say, don't you dare say bye win.
It'd be like, dang it, what does he know that we don't?
No. I, on the other hand, I think Brandon's going to come back with a vengeance. You know, he's had a nice little rest and relaxation. Back over there where the land of hobbits are. And I think he's going to come back with a vengeance, and we're going to see a 3-1 for the Ravens.
Game number 15. We have the Vengeful Ones with 1 win, 5 losses, 0 ties versus the First Merrick Militia. They have 1 win, which was a bye win, 4 losses, and a tie. It's the Battle of the Ones. Your jokes are so bad. John's lance should be winning games. It should be at least making games really close and really tight because how much damage he can throw out in a single turn. Merrick Militia, they're not they're not lighting up the night, but they're definitely playing solid games, especially who they played to a tie. I'm going to say, again, I think John's going to win this one. He's done a little bit to make his elementals a little bit faster, so jump of 4 will make a big difference for them. I am going to say it is Vengeful One's win, and it's going to be a 3-2.
This is going to be a game where it is Vengeful One's non-loss. I think this is actually going to be a 2-2 tie when the clock dings closed. I know I've been calling a couple of ties this week, but I actually think those games are going to play out, and it's just going to be somebody didn't quite get something finished off.
Yeah, they're going to be really tight games, the ones that you're calling ties, so they're definitely a reasonable estimate.
All right, so Geoff has a vengeful win for 3-2. I think we're going to also see a vengeful win. I think we'll see a 2-1, though.
All right, our last game of the week, game number 16, we have the Devil's Brigade, 2 wins, 4 losses, no ties. They're up against the Blitzkrieg Jezebels with a record of 1 win and 1 bye win, 4 losses, 0 ties. Devil's Brigade came in as the second top seed for the B side, and the Blitzkriegs have been sliding, not quite getting to where they want to be, but their opponents are definitely feeling the bite when they play her. I actually think the Blitzkrieg Jezebels are going to win this, and it's not just because it's my wife. It's because I think she has her dice and thoughts going well now. It's going to be a Blitzkrieg Jezebels win, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a 4-2.
Damn it, Lee. That is the exact call I'm calling. Blitzkrieg Jezebels 4-2. I think Heather has things going for her. Her lance is good. She's got all of her skills in. She's got things picked out the way she wants it to. Scott's had some rough luck here, but I think he's also not expecting what Heather's going to come out and bring to the table.
Is it cookies? Is she bringing cookies to the table?
Oh, Heather, you have to bring cookies.
We'll bring cookies.
Not Girl Guide cookies.
Yeah, Girl Guide cookies. You know, maybe we'll pay for them.
Listen, cookies are cookies, okay?
Who has the cookies?
Apparently Heather. All right, so what we got here, though, from Geoff is we have a Devil's win for 4-3. Geoff has to stick together. All Geoffs must stick together, even though he spells it incorrectly. I think it's going to be a Devil's win. I don't think it's going to be a 4-3. I think it's going to be a 3-2.
Well, we're at the end of another show, folks. It's been a lot of fun. I want to say we did call out and asked you to say who your favorite teams are. We got some answers. Mostly, we have one person on YouTube that commented on it, and we have a fan for the NAIS CIT. Other people have said who they like in other forums, but on YouTube there was only the one comment. Get in there and tell us who you like, who you think actually stands a chance to win the overall tournament, who has a chance of getting the B-side championship, and then finally, we have a Good Egg Award. Who do you think is the nicest person in League? We have the Tactical Genius Award. Who do you think's playing the best game in League? As well as finally, the Phoenix Hawk Memorial Blunder Award. Who do you think did some kind of bonehead that either cost them the game or caused them great damage?
Like bringing Jagermech this season.
All right, well, all I have is this for, all my fellow League players. Remember, concentrate fire. Look at the numbers. Even if targets, have a 1 or 2 higher number odd, if they have the damage on them and you have potential to kill them or do even more damage to them, taking the easy shots isn't necessarily always the way to go. And if it's about to die and you think, hey, I only need to throw this at it, throw more at it. Because and we all know, it doesn't always work out how we want it to. So concentrate fire, pick off the mechs, don't just spray damage everywhere and don't follow up on it.
Ain't no kill like overkill. See you all in 2 weeks.